in Kelso, TD5 8HA. I'm with the customer now. It's Professor George Lees. Obviously the gentleman's been in 2010. At the moment his situation is that his bank accounts, he's going through divorce with his wife. He's still living in the property, but the courts have,
yeah,
the courts
but
have,
they've done that before the last hearing, where we agreed to become amicable again,
right.
And they never even mentioned it to me.
Right.
No, that's typical of what they do.
The courts have frozen the bank accounts on both parties. Obviously he's not settled till next month. He can't even vend a prepaid meter. He has minimal funds.
Shall I get you a pension document and show him how much I've got in the... So the court hearing was on Thursday of last week, and we agreed to settle and subdivide all of the monies,
right.
But that is not settled until the end of, it's a month away.
Yeah.
So I need the energy before I can mobilise the money for a month.
Right.
If you shut me down, it will look much more politically drastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in a perfect position to pay it.
When you
and if you can get me and someone with authority at the organisation at Npower, I will write to them.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and explain it.
Right.
So that's one of my pensions.
Alright. But you have no access to your funds at the moment?
No, until the court thing is settled. I'm totally solvent. Yeah, and both my wife and me are now in a toxic debt pool because the court have frozen our assets. But the last, can I talk to her?
Yeah, of course you can.
Can you just tell her that you've just seen that my pension's got a net transfer value of over £150,000?
Yeah, yes. Right, the gentleman wants to speak to you. Should we put him on there, Catherine? Right. Right. Yeah.
Can I just have a wee look at your...
Right. Oh, because how long has your account's been frozen, sir?
Oh, since she separated physically from my house,
right,
in June 2014.
Right, so it was last year, yeah.
Yeah, but some of the accounts we've been accessing.
Right.
Yeah, but they're now spent up, and my wife is already in debt, cannot pay her solicitor even.
Right. Okay, right. Basically what we're going to do today is fit prepay meters, yeah?
Oh, I can't do it that way.
It's the only way to, obviously, once your bank's unfrozen.
So can you talk to the camera there? So you're hearing...
No, I don't want to talk to the camera.
Can I talk to your colleague and explain to her? Can she make a call to Miss Patricia Tom, my wife's divorce solicitor?
Obviously,
because that writ was issued before we agreed amicably to settle and I've got hundreds of thousands of pounds at the bank. Yeah, I cannot access it because it's frozen by the same law court that released that before we came to the amicable settlement.
This is nothing to do with Npower. You see, that's between your wife and yourself. It's a third party dispute.
So you're telling me that you understand that I've got hundreds of thousands of pounds at the bank that will be released.
Yeah. So you must have money in some form to feed yourself and run it.
Yeah, just a few.
Well, did you work at all, sir?
How reversible is the decision to fit a meter like that?
Well, once you've cleared the funds, once everything's been off, you can go back on a credit meter. It's just a temporary measure. If your bank account's frozen, you must have some money to put on.
No, my wife is unable to pay even her solicitor. It's amazing.
Yeah, but you're still here at the accounts. You're still using the gas and electric, but it needs to be paid for, yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you that we've made an amicable agreement now so that we can access equally the funds that have got us both in toxic debt.
Right.
And I have nothing to live on, and what you're telling me is that you're going to take my electricity supply away so that I cannot make the videos on the frauds that you run, and you're going to make me starve to death until the end of the month because I have no funds.
Right. Basically, we've been told to fix prepay meters.
Can I talk to your colleague to explain that we are now in an amicable settlement? Is she still there?
Yes, she's listening.
Can I talk to her, please?
Do you wish to speak to the gentleman, Catherine? Right.
You've seen one of my 3 pensions, 150.
She's saying the same as what I'm saying.
And I'm telling you that the circumstances have changed since that writ was issued. And if you talk to my wife's solicitor, she will confirm that for you.
But she's not going to pay the bill, is she?
I cannot pay the bill until our assets are released from the freeze.
We have to fit the prepay meters.
Yes, so you're going to starve me to death. I want you to confirm that you're going to cut down. I've got about £1,500 in my food budget in the bank to get me through the month.
Yeah. Okay, she's just having a word with the manager. Obviously that £1,500, you should be able to pay your gas and electric. That's what if that be a living allowance, that will cover your gas and electric. I mean, people on the door still have to pay for the electric and gas. Well, she's getting the manager's authority to fit the meters now.
Can I talk to her, please? You said that you were going to...
You probably get the same response what I've just told you, but I'll let you speak to them, of course.
And where do you have to get in to put the new meter in?
Just exactly where they are at the moment.
Alright.
The gas and electric, whatever, if they're in a cupboard or whatever. It's just a case of swapping them over, and we put credit on them, what they call emergency credit, which would be £25 on the electric, £10 on the gas.
Ah.
So you're not cut off or anything. You're not without.
Right. 25 and 25.
25 on the electric and £10 on the gas.
Right.
And that's what they call credit.
So at least I can make today's videos. Yeah.
Oh, you can,
yeah. This will be one of them now. But you're much gentler with me than the local coppers. When I report the crimes of N power to them, they just chuck me at the office.
Well, they probably would, but I'm not that type of person. But I'm just following what I have to do.
But it's stunning that you could have entered my home.
Yes.
Yeah, and you could have taken all my computers away freeing the free world.
No.
But you don't need to give any advance notice for that.
Yeah, it's. Oh, he still wants to have a chat with you if possible.
It's Catherine, is it?
Yeah. All right, just Catherine. Yeah.
Hello, Catherine. I've just shown your colleague my pension funds. Yeah, and everything that we've done. So when I left the Jedburgh, the writ or the issuance of the warrant was made before I appeared in my last divorce trial, and the last divorce trial raised an amicable agreement that we were going to settle and that my wife and my funds were going to be subdivided equally. I'm not contesting it anymore. I'm already divorced, yeah, but the carving up hearing is at the end of next month, and it would be really civil of you if you could talk to Miss Patricia Tom in Galashiels, who's my wife's solicitor, because what happened at the end of the last hearing, the proof hearing, was that we decided amicably to separate the funds. Now my wife, because she's not paid her legal fees, is currently in a massive toxic debt pool, yeah, but I've got loads of money at the bank, and now all of my pension that I've just shown your colleague is guaranteed to be mine, yeah, and the home will be mine totally, and I will pay your bills at the end of the month, yeah, but when the warrant was, I've talked to every meter reader that comes, and I explain my situation, yeah, and all of, well, if you can give me a contact address, I'd be delighted to correspond with you, but the threat of having my home, yeah, the capacity that you can issue a warrant like that without telling the victim anything about it in advance, yeah, I'm making a video on the conversation now, and when was I advised of what was going to happen today? There was the summons to court. There's already a. Can you please, okay, if I get your phone number for Miss Patricia Tom, can you please just talk to her and realise that none of us qualify for legal aid because we've got such massive savings. I've showed you, your colleague, one of my massive pension funds, which I've not drawn down because we don't know how much it's going to be subdivided. We cashed in, it was all discussed at the hearing on Thursday of last week. Both myself and my wife have ISAs, yeah, and they're almost spent up. I've got about £1,000 left in one, and it allows me to shop at Sainsbury's and buy only their basic products, yeah, and all of it was, they were quite stunned when I said, okay, I've used this as a political show trial because I'm the world's most informed political activist, which is why I'm taping this recording, and hello? Well, these are ISAs that were held with the Co-op Bank and the Britannia, yeah, and both my wife and myself cashed them in June last year, and I've lived off the proceeds of that since June last year. Which bank? Yeah, I'm telling you that our funds, our savings funds, are six-figure sums. Okay, my pension, my current account has been separated from me and my wife, and there's a tiny amount in there. Yeah, it pays for my food bills for the next month. I'm reliant on that. Yeah, and what you're telling me, Jedburgh Sheriff Court released the warrant before we agreed amicably to settle and subdivide all of the cash that we own and all of our pensions so that we become six-figure earners again. Yeah, and it's quite traumatic. I have no income stream because I'm being persecuted politically by law enforcement Scotland, yeah, because of all of the things that I've exposed. Look up Prof George Lees on YouTube and you will see that there are 500 fraud videos, and your company, Npower, is a massive crime against the Scottish people, with Mr Galan from Spain being at the head of that, earning 9 million euros. Yeah, so I'm quite prepared to contest it with you, but I'd much rather do it peacefully and amicably so that your reputation is intact like mine always has been, at the end of the proceedings. Yeah. So if you could just talk to my wife's divorce solicitor, yeah, who presumably is behind the writ to silence me even more, yeah. But what we did at the end of the court hearing, on what was the date of Thursday last week? The 6th, I think. Yeah. That writ was issued on the 31st of July, yeah, and they agreed in the court at Jedburgh that all of our assets would be subdivided equally, yeah, and that means that I can pay my bills, yeah, but the writ was issued before that decision was made, because we were still arguing with each other about whether or not they were entitled to get a divorce because they had no grounds. So can I refer you to that person? And so you're telling me that you understand that I'm... Alright, that's good. If you've got somebody upstairs that I can talk to, that would be brilliant. No income at all. I've been a political... No, the divorce is because my wife is from Chipping Norton, where the Prime Minister in England lives. Yeah? And it's very political. But on the weekend, on Thursday the 6th, it became now completely just an issue of who owns what, how it gets subdivided, and all of that is decided at the end of the month. Yeah, and I can get a statement. I'm really stunned that Jedburgh Law Court had the gall not to tell you that now the heat has been removed from all of the case, and everything that my wife and myself own is being jointly partitioned, and that process takes another month. Yeah, I've not paid my bill since she left on June the 4th 2014, and your colleague has just explained that it's only £2,000, and I've just explained to him that my first pension, which is entirely mine, is worth £200,000, and it was confirmed at the court the other day that it's worth £200,000. And what you're telling me is that you're obliged to starve me to death if I use electricity and gas. Yet, even although the court that issued the warrant without ever mentioning it to me, yeah, are prepared to continue with the actions that are combative, even although we have reached a settlement. No, nothing. Your colleagues showed up on my doorstep in big unmarked vans, and I asked them what they wanted. No one has explained in advance that this is going to happen, and they've explained to me that they have a locksmith who can break into my house and impose the... Yeah, even if I'm not in it. Yeah, that goes online tonight, how you treat the people. Yeah, and I just want to talk to one of your superiors. Thanks ever so much. And how big's your country?
Sorry?
How big's your territory?
Oh, I'm all over the place.
Right over in England then?
Over England,
all right.
Scotland, yeah.
And G4S are your rivals?
No, not me, no.
You should see what they do in the fraud sector. And they're even asset stripping the local police stations now. All the properties, they're buying it up at that toxic debt pool that Lloyd's banking group run. And everything is in toxic debt in civic society. And all the letters I've written to the Co-op Bank just are in denial. Yeah. I've written to the Parliamentary Banking Standards Committees, and none of it gets responded to. So hopefully your other boss will be more pliant. And where is this office?
I think we're down...
Preston?
No, down... Could be Nottingham somewhere. Be somewhere down south, not too sure.
Robin Hood's place.
No, it could be Newcastle, sorry, Newcastle.
All right.
North East, yeah.
Lord Patton's place. Oh, this could be the notification. Hello, are you telling me that I'm going to get... No, it's voting for the next corrupted government in Scotland. And you live in Scotland or England?
Carlisle.
All right. Bloody hell, it's miles away.
Yeah, this is
but you've never heard of Prince George of Cumbria and Teviotdale?
No, I haven't, no. I probably...
Yeah, he married Queen Victoria to make her a legitimate claimant to the monarchy. And they had their first baby on the Isle of Wight.
Right.
And that is the world's best kept secret.
It's full of conspiracies, isn't it?
And how many visits have you got today? I like, how many places do you...
We've got another one after this.
Right. And the legal action that led to this, how can I find out who pressed for that?
It'd be Empower, because there's been no payments on the account.
Alright, so it's not the Jedburgh Sheriff Court then? I thought you mentioned them.
That's where I get the warrant from, but this is between you and Empower.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so it wouldn't.
But the warrant came. When did you ask for that to be issued?
31st of July.
And they never even mentioned it.
Probably they wouldn't, because it's like it's not a family matter, if you know what I mean. It's more of a civil dispute.
Hello. Can I understand from your genial colleagues here that the warrant to take my funds, to pay for the outstanding debt, it's about £2,000 that I owe you, but my wife's assets and my own are frozen at the moment because of the law action. And what happened last Thursday was that we had our final proof hearing, and quite surprisingly everybody agreed that the divorce was going to go ahead, and we agreed to settle amicably, and that means that we're much less, I will be able to pay my bills in full. I've showed your colleagues one of my pension documents, which means that my pension is worth £200,000. Yeah, and I've explained that to every meter reader that comes here. If I could have an address to write to, because the residual savings that I've got from the last ISA that we were allowed to cash before the accounts were frozen are £1,000, I could starve to death. Yeah, and what you're doing is you're shutting down my capacity to make the videos on the massive frauds that blight everybody's savings and pensions. I'm a professor in neuroscience, but I've now become a fraud researcher. So if you would be kind enough to talk to Miss Tom at Jedburgh, in Galashiels, who's my wife's divorce solicitor, and so the writ was issued on the 31st when I was still at war with them, but the hearing on the 6th means that everything is now peaceful, and even Miss Tom, that's my wife's solicitor, because my wife is also in a debt pool, because our assets are frozen, yeah, no one can pay anything. And I've now explained to you that we are no longer competing and combative about whether or not it's a justified divorce. It's now a divorce, and I'm already divorced, and it takes a month to carve up the accounts which have been frozen until that decision is made, and it's an equal subdivision. So I do not qualify for legal aid. We've got tens of thousands at the bank in savings. That is available to me at the end of the month, and I was explained in the court that it takes time to draw your pensions down, and I now know that £200,000 pension is now mine. If you were to talk to the lady at Jedburgh that presumably issued the warrant in the... Oh no, you issued the warrant because you haven't been paid. Could you make a call to Miss Tom and... Okay, so can you say that again?
The meters themselves will be fitted today. We wouldn't look to get...
So you're treating me like a pauper and a criminal, even although I've justified that I've got £200,000 in my first pension, yeah, and I could not spend that. I could not spend that until I knew it was mine. Last Thursday, on the 6th, that was declared that that pension is mine. Yeah, and I've shown your colleague the documents. Yeah, and but you're prepared to risk me starving to death in the interim period. No, they're frozen. From the last ISA, which was worth £1,500, and it's now several months later. I live on a budget of less than £35 for food a week. Yeah, and the energy bills are part of the law case, and the subdivision is part of the law case. Until I know that my accounts are unfrozen, that will not happen until the end of the month. And what you're this is going to shame your company. Yeah, because there's no notice. Your guys have confirmed that they've got a locksmith in the team, and they would have broken into my beautiful home, yeah, without any advance notice to me. Yeah, and I've explained to it. So can you give me an address to write an official complaint to your superiors? Yeah.
I can't write on this.
Okay, so the meters... Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's a 4-bedroom house. Just me at the moment, because my wife has deserted me, and she lives in a £600 a month house now, and she's in a massive debt bill, cannot even pay her solicitor, who were prepared to issue the warrant within 6 days of the final trial. It's entirely political. But you're not prepared even. It could be solved today. Would you trust a legal presence if they were in a conversation with you? If I've not seen those, because I've explained to your colleagues that I do not pay my meter readings until my assets are released. I cannot pay the bill. Yeah, can you see the conundrum? Okay, I need an address for one of the board members at your company. No, I don't want someone in your local branch. I want one of the directors of Npower. Yeah, they've got hundreds of Ponzi shells. Yeah, all of that news is coming out. Yeah, and all of it is an attempt to gag me on my fraud research. Yeah, so what I want is the name of one of your directors, so that I can communicate with someone right at the top of the tree with the authority to run all of those massive interlocking Ponzi subsidiaries that you run all over Europe, and you pay Mr. Galan €9 million for. Yeah, one of the directors in the British jurisdiction that is your immediate line boss, yet on the board of the company that you are part of, I want... right? Paul Massara. Sorry, I've got nothing to write with. Anyway, it's going to look much more melodramatic if you shut me down. How long does it take for the guys to invade my house and fit the meter? 20 minutes.
Each meter.
Alright.
Just got one guy.
And sorry, let me just get a pen and I'll write down your details. So you're in Newcastle. Yeah, I used to be a prof at Sunderland. Porton-le-Spring. And your name? And the man you're referring me to, and what is his, he's the CEO of a company that has its business address, it's MASSARA. And what is the business address for the company that he's CEO of? Yeah. No, I want to know the address that gets him as a board member on that company. Can you give me the street address? Ta. Fuck, it's hot. Yeah. No, I want the company's registered address. N-Power. Yeah. There are hundreds of Ponzi shells for N-Power. Triganos. T-R-I-G-A-N-O-S. Yeah. T-R-I-G-A-N-O-S. Oh, I've been there, it's interesting. Yeah. 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 6PB. Okay, so your boss is Paul Massara, based in Swindon, Windmill Hill, Business Park, Swindon, SN5 6PB, and you're Paul, you're Tanya Stevenson. And you can hear how civilised and informed I am, but you are still not prepared to ask Jedburgh Court what happened within 6 days of their release of the warrant. Yeah, which is an amicable subdivision of everything that myself and my wife owned, which is... Well, you have. It's a very traumatic process that you've imposed on me this morning. I might take action against you. But I'm telling you that the very same court that you received the warrant from has now changed everything that happens to me and my wife, and everything now is amicable apart from my energy suppliers. So why can't you talk to my wife's solicitor and be reassured that all of that gets paid at the end of But you got involved through the Jedburgh Sheriff Court using 3 people that are all drawn down salaries to persecute me as an innocent party in the revelations of the British fraud. Yeah. Well, I looked at it last week, and I told your colleagues that I did, and it's only £1,000. And I've shown your colleagues my massive pension documents. Yeah, and this is just an issue of trust. And how soon can I leave N-Power? Because I'm gonna blow this whole news open. Yeah, in a series of videos with all of your massive Ponzi's all across Europe, and I will bring you to your knees. Bye bye.